Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. This is Accounting Nightmare. Welcome Rose, welcome Tag, welcome Lauren. And thank you very much, Lauren. 23 months of subs. Thank you very much, I really appreciate it. Alright, I'm back. We started daylight savings recently, which means we put our clock forward, which is why this stream is starting a little earlier than... well, it's 4:30 now. I started a little bit late. Anyway, the streams are going to start earlier. That's why. Daylight savings is very confusing. Got to solve some convoluted crimes. Hype. Yes! Exactly. Yeah, I'm having a pretty good day. I had some pretty bad insomnia and it took me a while to get over it, but I think I'm getting adjusted now. So I feel good. And that's a nice dress, Rose. Oh, wow. I've been wanting to get back to this for a while, but my throat has been very sore, and then I had insomnia, and But we had quite the cliffhanger when we last played this. Oh, we're at end part 1. Ooh, okay. Right, the Forgotten Turnabout. Okay, let's try and think through everything that happened. Alright, so something happened to Kay. She's lost her memories. She's got amnesia. She had some memories come back of attacking someone on the roof, but we didn't find a bloodstain up there, so there's something... She's been manipulated somehow to believing she's done a murder. I still haven't got any sound effects set up. I really need to do that. I also want to change my sub alert too, because I'm a bit bored of the Mega Man one. Yeah, it all takes effort, if it's hard. Right, yeah, so we're trying to restore Kay's memories. Also, she's been framed of this crime for murdering a member of the PIC. The PIC is very corrupted. The leader, the chairman, is a scumbag. Courtney is also a scumbag. Lots of scumbags. Yes. Edgeworth gave up his badge to try and protect Kay. So we're not a prosecutor anymore. Where's me stylus? There's kind of a lot that's happened. Let's just dive in. Oh yeah, and we've been pointed at as a suspect as well. Oh hey, we're in jail. Okay. That's right, I forgot we got arrested. So we're also being pointed at as a suspect. Mega Man fell into the pit too many times. Yep. Resting my voice is a great excuse for watching more Dragon Quest builders. Yeah, I'm really enjoying the story of that game. I want to see what happens to Malroth. Okay, let's have a quick... Oh, we've only got the badge. They took all our stuff, jerks. We've got Kay's badge. Loads of people. Alright, so she's the nurse from the hospital who was... she's the one who found Kay. And she's also the assistant to the director of this hospital. She's the coroner for this case. They're a weird little kind of comedy pair. There's Kay. She looks very different at the moment. Poor thing. Francisca's around. She's trying to decide... I think she's trying to decide what side to take. She knows that there's something going on. Sebastian is around. He's once again the prosecutor in charge of the case. Courtney is around. She's evil. Jill Crane was the victim, a member of the PIC. This is the chairman of the PIC. He's a scumbag. Oh yeah, and he's Sebastian's father. Shields is around. Shields been helping us. Emma's around. She's been helping us. And Lotta Hart is around. She witnessed the murder, so that's pretty good. Alright. Look in the tunnel we found last time. Yes! Wonder if they filled that in. Oh yeah, Francie Frenzy's not happy with Sebastian, so... She's whipped him like 1,000 times already. Alright. April 6th. Detention Center, holding cell. This is the second time I've been in this cell. All of my evidence has been taken from me. The only thing I have left is Kei's Yatagarasu's badge. I'm worried about Kei. Is she alright? The culprit is me. I remember looking down at the person in the red raincoat. Mr. Edgeworth, it was me. The culprit was me all along. You have a visitor. Please hurry out. A visitor? Who could it be? Someone by the name of Dick Gumshoe. Will you turn him down? No. It will be hard to face him, though. April 6th, Detention Center, Visitor's Room. Oh, hey, we're on this side of the class now. Lotta finally got to witness a real-life murder. Yes! She always wanted to scoop, didn't she? Poor Sebastian not having a good time between the whipping and his dad constantly calling him a moron. Yeah, his dad seems straight up abusive. Yeah, I assumed he became a prosecutor because, his dad's part of the PRC, but his dad also seems to hate him? I don't know what's going on there. We'll find out. Wait there. He's not going to stay and keep watch? Pardon me. Judge Courtney. Hush. Please, have a seat. Why are you here? I was told the detective had come. If I didn't instruct them to tell you that, you wouldn't be sitting here right now. I can't think of anything she'd need from me at this point. I should try to figure out what she wants. Check out my badge. It's the only one I got left. If it's about Kay Faraday, I believe she's being interrogated as we speak. You people. Do you have any idea what you're doing? How dare you arrest an innocent person? That's not a very nice thing to say. I would ask that you correct your statement. She is merely someone you want to believe is innocent. Am I wrong? There is no decisive evidence to prove that she's the culprit. There is no evidence to prove her innocence either. Enough of this. It's pointless. This logic. This is like Among Us logic. I don't know, could be innocent, could be guilty. The girl will be judged. There is nothing you can do to stop that. That's all there is to say about that. Now, let's get to the real issue at hand. Who in this series has not been accused for murder? Gumshoe? No, Gumshoe was accused in Investigations 1. Yeah, that's in that flashback case. That's why he's so loyal to Edgeworth, because Edgeworth figured out it wasn't him. Yeah, who hasn't been accused? You know, I actually can't... Yeah, the judge, I guess. Plot twist, we change back to Phoenix and defend Edgy. That would be cool, actually. Your visitation rights have been restricted to begin with. It's as if I'm some monstrous criminal. I suppose my credibility has hit rock bottom. But of course, your friends have fared a little better, though. That lawyer and that girl were both quite worked up. Mr. Shields and Emma. When I last saw them, they were giving one of the guards quite an earful. What? You don't mean... Be grateful. The goddess of law has been quite busy. They were spared punishment. It certainly seems like you have plenty of time for small talk. Oh yes. Prosecutor von Karma is presently continuing the investigation. You were worried about them, right? Huh, not the best? I guess she saw right through me. Let's cut to the chase. Exactly what are you planning? I am not planning anything. There is merely a question I wish to ask. You're asking me? Yes, of course. Who else is here? Objectively speaking, you are a clever individual, and you have a sharp mind. As a prosecutor, you are highly talented and capable. Are you being ironic? Your sarcasm falls short. I am being completely sincere, and that is why I cannot understand. Take this case, for example. You're up against the PIC. There is no chance for you to come out on top. Even a child could understand, and yet you... Perhaps my younger self would not have done something so reckless. The me from before had power. That's why I thought justice was on my side. Just like you right now. Ooh, good comparison. Franziska hasn't been accused of murder. No one would dare. Oh, okay, yep. Yep, that's true. Also, hey, counting? However, because of a certain man, my self-centered sense of justice was broken down. Ever since then, I began to see people in a different light. I'm able to serve as a prosecutor only because of the support of the people around me. People like Detective Gumshoe and all the other investigators. And Kay as well. Honestly, even I'm surprised at how much I have changed. I see. Is that how it is? I've come to understand you a little more. Understand me? Not likely. Someone like you, who forces her own sense of justice onto others, could never understand. I wonder about that. Is that what you think? If I could say one thing, it would be that this conversation has been very interesting. That's all. Our conversation is coming to an end. However, I have one last thing to tell you. The date of your hearing has been set. I came here today to inform you. Today, in the PIC meeting room, may you humbly accept your fate. Okay, that was quick. If that's all you wanted to say, couldn't you have just sent a messenger? The holy words of the goddess of law simply cannot be entrusted to others. With that, Mr. Edgeworth, I bid you farewell. I shall be seeing you again later. Detention Center holding cell. Winston Payne hasn't been accused. That's true. Well. Silence. The music. There's no music. I mustn't neglect my personal appearance just because I'm in a holding cell. Prosecutor or not, this is my personal duty. My collar is slightly bent. There. A well-groomed appearance reflects a well-groomed mind. From here on, I'll need to focus myself more than ever. It's an interesting look into why he dresses up like that. There's a poster hanging in the hallway. The Dice and Slice game. Roll the dice and decide your daily meal. Daily menu. The Dice and Slice game has been cancelled due to the warden's arrest. We sincerely apologise to everyone who was looking forward to it. There's no need to apologise for cancelling such a silly game. There's a dining menu sitting on the desk. It seems I can get food delivered if I pay for it. Let's see. Mouldy white bread lunch set. Switch to mouldy whole wheat bread for an extra $1. Oatmeal and grits set menu. For a limited time, get extra gruel at no additional cost. Thank goodness I'm not hungry right now. Ew. Ew, ew. It's a simple bed. I don't expect it to be very comfortable to sleep on. If it were Detective Gumshoe, he would probably snore loudly while sleeping like a log. I may never get a chance to work with him again. However, this is the path I chose. I won't regret it. Aww. Oh, hang on. I was wondering what the trigger was for the story. I wanted to finish looking around the cell first. Can't look at the window? Okay. There's a poster on the wall next to the toilet. We are currently out of toilet paper. Please be prepared if you wish to use the toilet. What does it mean by be prepared? Ew. This place sucks. That's probably the point, but yeah. I don't think there's anything else to look at. Okay. Simple bed. Yeah, I haven't noticed Nick caring about his appearance quite a bit. I've noticed he's very sensitive about his hair. Oh hey, that didn't progress the story? Okay. Maybe I need to fix my collar. I've already done that, okay. Yeah, better not to mention Apollo Justice for now. I don't want to spoil anything since we're not up to that yet. Disgusting mouldy bread. Ew. Ew, ew, ew. There we go. Another visitor. Kay! Oh. It seems you're alright. I'm relieved. For now. You know, this is kind of touching. You look a little down, Kay. Please, cheer up. You didn't do anything wrong. I guarantee it. Please, just accept it. I'm a murderer. That's not true. Why won't you believe in yourself? What should I believe in? I mean, there's nothing. There's nothing to believe in. That's not true. Before you lost your memories, you literally jumped into my life. As a result, your words and actions have become engraved in my memories. That's the mark you left behind. How can you call that nothing? I believe in your innocence. That's why you must believe in yourself as well. Thank you. But it's no use. Look at all the misfortune I've brought upon you. If you can, please forget it all. Your memories of Kay Faraday. Kay! You know, this takes me back. In my youth, I too was a gallant. Is this the kind of justice that the PIC seeks? Justice, huh? I wonder. This man, what is he planning? Why is he pushing things forward so forcefully? It all seems too unnatural. Is there a hidden agenda? A little bit. There's no time left. It's all or nothing now. Well then, I must take my leave. Hold it! No matter how you look at it, Kay's arrest was unnatural. There must be something behind it. Hey, I'm a busy man, you know. I'm kind of a big deal, you see. I trust this won't take up too much of my time. In order to make it out of this situation, I must break through his defences. There are plenty of things I want to ask, but my time is limited. First, I'll ask about why he rushed the arrest. I have no intention of letting him push me around. I will overcome this difficult situation. Nope, you can still pull people into the chess dimension. Why did you rush her arrest? Why did you rush her arrest? I would like a clear explanation. Explanation? What are you talking about? Don't play dumb with me. You clearly did not follow the proper procedures. Okay. Maybe you should pipe down a bit. Do you even know the position you're in? Wait and see. Suppose we let the criminal escape. What do you think will happen? What will happen? I would be made to take responsibility, you see. I do hope you understand. Wait and see. Just take my advice and stay out of this, if you know what's good for you. I refuse. Kay is innocent. You know, this is so pitiful. It brings me to tears. Why won't you just give up? Things were finally going well. Things were going well. Things were going well, you say? That's a strange way to put it. It almost sounds as if you personally wanted Kay to be arrested. Far more than necessary. Haven't you lost your impartiality? You think so? That certainly wasn't my intention, you see. Edgeworth, my boy, you're reading too much into it. He skillfully avoided the issue. However, I still have some serious doubts about Kay's arrest. Next, I shall ask him if the investigation was sufficient. I can't miss even the tiniest piece of information. That's the only way to break through this situation. Kay is not the culprit! Kay is not the culprit! My, that's a rather bold claim, you know. Anyone can shout objections at the top of their lungs, you see. Mr. Former Prodigy Prosecutor. Ugh. It's no use. I don't have enough information. My chance will come, sooner or later, and when it does, I mustn't let it slip by. How long did you investigate? How much time was spent on the investigation? You know, I wonder about that. I don't really remember, you see. There is no way I can accept such a careless answer. Like I said, I don't remember. My memory's not as sharp as it used to be, you see. Sometimes I even forget my own son's name. I don't care about your idiot son. I want your answer regarding the investigation. Yes, he really is an idiot. Even though I don't remember raising him like that. Oh. There's no end to this. He just keeps on dodging the question. Let's try another line of attack to make him take me seriously. God, this guy's a scumbag. It's hard to say that the investigation was sufficient. The arrest, was it under your authority? My, do I really look that important? The Prosecutorial Investigation Committee Chairman is quite a prominent title. Not that I care much for it. That was rather blunt. I'm so shocked I could cry. I'm sorry. Flattery was never my forte. If you keep talking like that towards me, you'll never get your prosecutor's badge back, you know. I need my badge. Let me make this clear right now. I do not live for the sake of my badge. Wow, forsaken their badge. Broken up. I thought Logic Chess couldn't get cooler. Yeah, this is good. Status means nothing to me. Do you understand? Young. So young. Let me teach you something as your senior in life. What you're saying right now, it's far too naive, you see. The look in his eyes has changed. He might respond differently to some of my questions now. This is my chance. Interesting. I'll ask him about the investigation again. Well. Aren't you an impertinent one? Even someone like me is starting to get annoyed. What a coincidence. I feel the same way. Answer me. Was the investigation sufficient? Young folks always live life in the fast lane. That's why I like to bully them. You'll regret this soon enough. Just gonna save. Haven't saved in a little bit. Yugimoto has the Shadow Realm. Edgeworth has the Chess Dimension. How do you bully someone? Haven't you? No, nope. That's the wrong. That is the wrong. My. I wonder what you're getting so excited about. I sure can't understand the high spirits all you young folks seem to have. Ugh, that was a wasted remark. I have no intention of letting him push me around. Does he... Alright, he's still annoyed. Good. I really like the chess music. Wait and see. You sure are quiet. Are you scared? Ridiculous. I was just thinking about my next strategy. On how to extract information from a weepy old man. You should show some remorse, you know. Don't you get it? I hold your fate in my hands. Wait and see. In any case, even if you obtained some information, there's nothing you can do. Just give up already. I refuse. Mind if I ask why? It's simple. The truth is fading away. That's all there is to it. I see. I'm starting to understand what kind of person you are. But you know, it's all useless. It's enough to make me cry. Give it up. that girl's guilt has already been decided. Decided? That's strange. The way you said that, it almost sounds like it was decided from the very beginning. Yeah, she hasn't gone to court yet, so... What are you trying to say? Her arrest was planned. Yes, it's clearly unnatural. Everything is progressing as if Kay's guilt was predetermined. Wasn't Kay's arrest planned from the start? I see. That's an interesting theory. But I don't have time to indulge in your flights of fancy, you know. Why don't we put an end to this silly conversation? Curses! He's trying to get away. Before that, I must find out if the arrest was lawful. All he has to do is walk away. It's still very faint, but I'm beginning to see the path to the truth. I can't let this opportunity slip by. Just gonna save. Please wait. There is still something I want to ask you. I've grown weary of our little... What's that word? Tete-a-tete? Tete-a-tete? I haven't seen that before. Please keep it short, okay? Who made the decision? Who was the one who made the decision to arrest her? Well, I can't say I remember. Growing old is a terrible thing, you see. My memory's not what it used to be, you know. I don't have enough clues to proceed with this line of questioning. Maybe I should try another line of attack. Alright, I'll ask about the, what was that other one? The basis for your arrest. If I put together what you have told me up until now, I cannot help but say that there is no basis for Kay's arrest. Yes, I understand, you see. But you know, it doesn't really matter either way. You can't overturn her arrest. How irresponsible! Do you still claim to be a man of the law? My. Those are some harsh words, you know. You know, you're starting to make me a little angry. I'll say even harsher words. Wait and see. You see, to be honest, I really can't answer all of your questions, you know. That's just the position I'm in, you see. I'm a busy man, you know. Aren't you just pretending to be busy? That's cruel, you know. This old chunk of coal has been working like a dog. Pretending. Just what do you think that would accomplish? You don't want to talk about the case. Isn't that why you're trying to get away from this place? How sad. Yes, how sad indeed. Do you really suspect little old me? I do suspect you, and I'm confident about it. There was clearly no basis for Kay's arrest. My, have you forgotten? Wasn't there evidence? The mask, the letter, and the corsage all were found in the girl's possession. Not to mention, she even confessed. All of this serves to prove her crime. That's... Any objections? Objection! You bet I'll object. Those are basically the same thing. Wait and see. You see, You have no response. It's true, I have no objections. Although, there is one point that bothers me. This man seems awfully familiar with the evidence. To remember everything without missing a beat, that intrigues me. This could be a useful clue. Nice. Now we'll do that other one again. Who was the one who made the decision to arrest her? And he claims he can't remember. Use the clue! Don't play dumb with me. Didn't you remember all of the evidence in full detail just now? Stop pretending to be a forgetful old man when things aren't going your way. Now then, who was the one who made the decision to arrest her? I see. You're a sharp one, aren't you? You know, I wish my son could learn from you. Because he's a real idiot. Oh. I'm not interested in your son. Who made the decision for the arrest? You're a bad man, you know. Don't you already know? The one who ordered her arrest. We'll save. We're about to run out of time. No one can escape the chest dimension unless Miles allows them to. Yes. When he's staring at you through tear-filled goggles. Makes your eyes sting just thinking of that. Is that a... What do you mean, Tag? These lines of dialogue are reminding you of something you heard today. Ah, what's that, Rez? Obviously it was you! What if we answer Judge Courtney? Hang on, I want to see what happens if we answer Courtney. See if we get special dialogue for that. Courtney! Ah, no special dialogue. Never mind. The person right in front of me. I'm certain of it. Ouch! You make it sound like I committed some kind of injustice. Guess I'll have to clear that up. My honor's at stake here, you see. Very well. I'll continue to play along with you. Until you are satisfied. What is most crucial here is how much this man knows about this case. If I can get him to reveal that... It's do or die. If I can overcome this, I'll reach the truth. Tears are not clear water, and he's just looking through it without blinking through salty tear water. Oh, yeah. That's a good point. Real life related. Okay. Saving once more. Compulsive saver. Sorry, that's me. After this segment, I'll go feed the cat. The suspect. Regarding Kay, how much do you know about her? She's a suspect in this case. That's all I know, you see. Scout's honor. Okay. Need more clues. You seem pretty familiar with the case. I'm a wise man, you know. I'm familiar with most things, you see. I don't think it was very wise of you to arrest Kay in this case. That lighter is dangerous. Wait and see. I'm a very busy man. I can end this conversation anytime I want, you know. Don't you forget about that. This would have already been over if you had simply answered my questions. If you give me a proper answer, I won't take any more of your time. I will ask you once again, why are you so familiar with this case? I read the case files, you see. Honestly, it was quite a drag, you know. But it's my job, so what could I do? But because of my position, you see, I can't just skip out on it. Oh. Well, I had some time to kill, so I read the whole thing, you see. You just said you were busy. That's strange. Didn't you just say you were very busy? Aren't your faults slowly coming to light now? If you truly wish to protect your position, I would advise you to rescind the arrest order. You really are desperate, you know? That never say die attitude. It touches my heart. But, you know, it's unfortunate that all your hard work was for naught. Because we discovered her unconscious body near the crime scene, you see. What? What? What was the weather like at the time? Interesting question. This is the first I've heard of Kay's condition when she was found. She was unconscious in the storeroom. That's right. The source of that information is classified, though. This man knows things even I don't know. Does he know the whole story behind this case? Oh, got a clue. Now we use the clue. Something you've said feels out of place. You know about things that the crime scene investigation never revealed. Why is that? Just how much of the truth do you know? Oh, he mad. You're making that forceful face again. You know, it kind of makes me want to do the same. Like this. Wait and see. You really are a persistent one, you know? But I can admire that, you see. I will take that as a compliment. Can't you give it a rest already? At my age, my body's not as strong as it once was, you know. There is no one else who could be the culprit besides her. She was even given that much evidence to show that she committed the crime. What? The frick did you just say? She was given evidence, you say? That's an odd choice of words. It almost sounds as if she did not possess them under her own will. I see. You really do have a fine eye for the details, as expected of a former prodigy prosecutor. You've already found your answer, haven't you? I'm listening, so go ahead and say it. There's no need to hold back. I have finally wrenched open the heavy door to the truth. Now, all that remains is to strike the final blow. Alright, I'm guessing we go for Kay's not the culprit now. Yeah, so did he just admit to planting evidence, basically? Oh, hello cat. Kay is not the culprit. My, that's a rather bold claim, you know. I've seen that dialogue. I shall break through this with that clue. Kay was framed. The true culprit is pinning the blame on her. That is my answer. If you missed what happened just then, he accidentally set his beard on fire and then he put it out with his tears from his goggles. These animations are fantastic. Hey, Panicking, welcome. Yes, you're a clever one. It almost makes me feel bad that your prosecutor's badge was taken away, you know. Yes, it's as you say. Blaze badges win? Never. I don't want anything to do with him. Checkmate. You arrested Kay, even when you knew of the existence of the true culprit? Don't toy with me. There is no way such an act would be tolerated. You sure are green, you know. That's what a prosecutor is supposed to do. It will all work out fine, if we make her guilty. Who would desire such a resolution? If I had to say, maybe the PIC, and also maybe me, you know. When I heard your words just now, I could barely hold back my tears, you know. It was just so splendid, you see, and it burns me up inside. I'm not the most perfect piece of work, you know, so I can't forgive such youthfulness. You say the truth is important, but you know, once you know the real value the truth holds, I wonder if you can still say the same thing. What are you trying to say? When you get to where I am, you can just create your own truths, anytime you want. Kay Faraday is the culprit. That was a truth that I simply manufactured out of thin air. Good, very good. That face, that expression. You were such a desperate one, you see. That's why I really wanted to bully you, you know. You see, even if you know the truth, there is simply nothing you can do. And that's the real value of truth. So shocking that it's to die for, you know? Why won't you pursue the true culprit? How much of the truth do you know? Do you understand now? The truth that you believe in is worthless, you see. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Powerless former prosecutor? You. Oh, scary, scary. You know, I guess the friends of a heinous criminal are also quite heinous themselves. Blaze, you! And like this, you see, one more person will disappear before me. Ah, here come the waterworks. These tears of mine just won't stop, you know. Well, is this the most evil person we've met in Ace Attorney, ever? Everything will be decided in today's deliberation. Kay's innocence, I will definitely prove it. Hey, UED. Well. And here I expected it to be continued. Alright. Well, I am gonna go feed this cat. Where'd she go? I have a confession. I turned off the cat alarm because I wanted to finish that segment. But now I'm gonna turn it back on. The Dahlia was pretty damn evil too. Alright. Gonna set off the cat alarm and we'll see her come running in. Webcam. Hello, baby. She was just around the corner waiting for the alarm. Isn't that cute? She's cute. Hello, baby. Mwah. Yeah, I'm gonna go feed this gorgeous cat. I love her. She's the best. She cuddled me last night. Oh, she's so cute. Okay. I'll go on a quick break. Trying to decide if I should drink some honey. Yeah, I better just in case. My voice was very sore a couple of days ago. Whoops. Alright, well, I'll be about 10 minutes, I'd say. Give you all some music. And I shall be back soon. You see, when you're in my position, you get to create your own cat alarms. That's good. Good night, Rose. Thanks for hanging out. And I shall be back soon. Alright, I'm back. Okay. Drank some honey, it was delicious. And I am back. I'll just save. Thank you, Tag. When you think about it, Manfred probably doesn't even break into the top 5 biggest monsters. There's a lot of monsters in this series, isn't there? I don't know though, Manfred was pretty messed up. Like, he adopted Edgeworth, well, took him under his wing anyway, and taught him for 15 years just to, like, deliberately mess him up. And then frame him for murder. Hey UED, thank you very much for subbing with Prime Gaming. Welcome back, time for a totally fair trial, yup. Yes. Yeah, thank you for subbing, I really appreciate it. 3 months. Nice. April 6th, 8:30 AM, Grand Tower, PIC meeting room. So this is not a... This is going to be a strange little trial. It's not in an actual official court. We'll see what happens. 10 members are present. The quorum has been met. From here on out, let the council begin. Today's deliberation shall be about Miles Edgeworth's aptitude and ability as a prosecutor. Okay, so this isn't about Kay's guilt. Okay. Let our members discuss this matter with a clear conscience of the goddess of law. A clear conscience. Don't make me laugh. Courtney, please give us your report. On April 5th, Prosecutor Edgeworth carried out an illegal investigation and resisted arrest. He was arrested by 2 of our members who caught him in the act, myself and Blaze DeBest. Prosecutor Edgeworth disrupted the investigation of attorney Jill Crane's murder. He claims that the culprit, Kay Faraday, was arrested without sufficient evidence. Even now, his claim remains unchanged. Tell us more about the murder incident. On April 5th, the victim's body was found here, in the PIC meeting room. Regarding the details, I, Sebastian DeBest, the best prosecutor, will enlighten you. The prosecutor in charge, Sebastian DeBest, will explain the rest of the details. Oh boy, here we go. It's fine. All Edgy needs is a table to slam on and to support himself when stunned. Yes. The murder happened on the night of April 4th. The victim was one Jill Crane. On the same night, a black market auction was being held in this very meeting room. God, that badger mask. Oof. It's disturbing. I guess Miss Crane was taking part in the auction. Yup. The murder occurred in the middle of the auction, did it not? When Miss Crane was found, she was dressed like the conductor of the auction. However, based on the fact that the auction continued after the murder occurred, I deduced that Miss Crane could not have been the conductor. You weren't the one who made that deduction. Taking our deductions. Sebastian, please show everyone the basis for the arrest of the culprit. You got it, Justine. Kay Faraday was unable to bear the weight of her good conscience. I believe you mean her guilty conscience. Yes, it was her guilty conscience that drove her to confess the crime. According to her confession, on the roof of this building, she met a figure in a red raincoat on the viewing platform. So, Crane was wearing a red raincoat. Yes, that's correct. The culprit used the conductor's clothes as a red herring to mislead us. At the time of the murder, Miss Crane was wearing a red raincoat. It was I who discovered the raincoat near this building. He did? I'm sure it was the forensics team who found it. To be more precise, it was the forensics team under Sebastian's orders who discovered it. I thought as much! According to the blood analysis, the person in the red raincoat and Miss Crane were the same person. The decisive evidence is the culprit's own confession. She testified that she killed her. That's right, the culprit is Kay Faraday. It couldn't have been anyone else but her. Well then, Edgeworth, if you have any objections, let's hear them. I have no objections. I see. It seems all the fight's gone out of you after your little overnight stay. I have no objections to your claim that I investigated illegally. I admit to that. However, I object to the claim that Kay is the culprit. I will testify that Sebastian's investigation was fair and just. Of course it was, Justine. Don't you know that I'm the fairest of them all? Edgeworth, my boy, despite how things may seem, I actually kinda like you. If, and this is just an if, you see, if you were to withdraw your objection, let me guess, he'll give us back the badge. You might be sitting on this side of the bench tomorrow. Wow, okay. Offering a seat on the committee. I'll ask you one more time, Edgeworth. Do you have any objections? Don't take me for a fool. I'd advise you to watch what you say. This man is the one who should watch what he's saying. I'm talking about the case, not about a chair. I demand a testimony. By all means, let me hear it. I want to know how the PIC understands this case. A testimony from us, eh? Fine then, if that's what it takes to make you happy. Courtney, give him the materials from the investigation. Sir? But that's... It's the end of the line for him. I'll let him go out in a blaze of glory. If you insist, Mr. Chairman. Err. Why don't we have Courtney give the testimony? I have no objections. Mr. Edgeworth? Don't worry, Kay. You just watch from over there. Summary of the case. Alright, so we got all our stuff back. Woo! That's a load of stuff. It's amazing that Edgy is still trying to rationally talk to these guys. Yeah. Get your popcorn and strap in, kids. The best is at it again. The best is hilarious. Miss Crane went to the black market auction as a customer. The red raincoat was one of the items up for auction. We believe that she left her seat after winning the bid for it. The only exit from the storeroom is the hatch that leads to the viewing platform. It was one of the things from the auction. Oh, is this the thing from the first case? That would make sense. Miss Crane went out to the viewing platform, where she was attacked by Kay Faraday. That was how she met her end, and that concludes my summary of the case. That's pretty pathetic. The red raincoat was up for auction. Is that a fact? It is quite likely. The red raincoat had been a piece of evidence. in the assassination attempt on the president of Zengfar, as you well know. Yeah. Originally, it should have been stored in an appropriate place. But when I asked about it, I learned that it went missing. And it somehow made its way to the black market auction. Certainly a natural conclusion. My, well done, Courtney. Your explanation is as clear as ever. I am much obliged. Prosecutor Edgeworth, will you concede defeat now? Sorry, but I don't plan on it. I see. I am relieved. Relieved? What does she mean? Come to think of it, her reason for questioning me yesterday remains a mystery. Just what is she thinking? Miss Crane went to the black market auction as a customer. I like how we're just accepting, oh yeah, there's a black market auction that happens right here involving stolen evidence. Anyway, and we're not really questioning it. But that's not sus at all. So, you're saying that a member of the PIC was involved in illicit dealings? Regarding that, I have no response. He's right, you know. After this hearing is over, we're going to have to clean up our act. A splendid decision, Mr. Chairman. Now, it is only natural, you see. There's no need to flatter me, you know. But, you know, that has nothing to do with you at all, Edgeworth. Because by then, you won't even be a prosecutor anymore, you see. Well, now that this tearful business has been cleared up, yes, sir, I will continue. I mean, we already gave up our badge, but already not a prosecutor. The red raincoat was one of the items up for auction. So, the red raincoat was also up for auction. Yes, it had belonged to Shelley the Killer. Based on the circumstances, we must consider that it was an item up for auction, you see. That was what he wore when he targeted the president of Zengfar. There was a mannequin that was positioned unnaturally amongst the auction goods. That may have been where the red raincoat had been on display. Do you know how the goods were procured? We're currently investigating it, but it's none of your concern, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Soon, you will be nothing more than an ordinary individual, and then you will be finished. It seems the results of this deliberation have already been decided. Enough about me. Please continue your testimony. Since the raincoat had been up for auction. The devs had planned for AI 2.4 from the very first game. That's why the devs never drew in his prosecutor badge. That would be hilarious if that's actually the reason he keeps his badge in his pocket. Suspicious. Yeah, just a little bit. We believe that she left her seat after winning the bid for it. Why would the victim immediately leave her seat? That had to do with how the auction was conducted. It seems that after the winning bid, the winner was required to pay for the item immediately. That matches up with Miss Hart's testimony. We believe that Miss Crane paid her bid for the raincoat, and then immediately tried to leave the auction. The only exit from the storeroom is the hatch that leads to the viewing platform. The victim was a PIC member. Couldn't she have also just left from the meeting room? If she had done so during the auction, then its existence would have been revealed to the public. Since Miss Hart knew about it, it seems the cat is already out of the bag. The customers were required to enter and exit from the hatch. Miss Crane was simply following protocol. Considering where the murder took place, she must have tried to leave through there. How do you know what was required at the black market auction? Miss Crane went out to the viewing platform, where she was attacked by Kay Faraday. Why would Kay do such a thing? We intend to question her about that later. Later? That seems to be your favourite time for interrogations. If the culprit was aware that the customers were required to exit from the hatch, it would have been easy to lie in wait for an ambush. Miss Crane was attacked when she was leaving the hatch. That was how she met her end, and that concludes my summary of the case. Met her end? What do you mean by that? She passed away. Or to be more precise, she was murdered. The candelabra was one of the items in the auction. Therefore, Kay should not have been able to get her hands on it. If she was able to lie in wait for the attack, then she must have known about the storeroom. If she sneaked into the storeroom during the auction, she could have obtained it. Now, if we only had some way to know for sure where the candelabra was during the entire auction, you know, how about it? There is no such evidence. My apologies. We hope to find that evidence soon. Edgeworth, it's too bad, you know. It seems you won't be able to use this line of attack. The victim encountered the culprit on top of the roof, and the crime occurred there. According to her reasoning, the murder took place at the viewing platform. But was that really the case? Some piece of evidence must tell the whole story behind it. I should try looking again. Yeah, that's not where the blood was. Alright, gonna save. If you had to guess, they couldn't squeeze in all the different colours of the prosecutor's badge into like 5 pixels. The original GBA screen, yeah, the original GBA screen was teeny tiny in resolution. That is true. That's a good point. Alright, anything interesting if we get it wrong? Judge Courtney, there is a contradiction in your testimony. I cannot authorise this statement. And why not? Because it's obvious you're bluffing. Okay. These are the same bits of dialogue we've seen. Don't think there's anything new here. Yeah, so the blood was found on the lift. Nope, okay. I'll try presenting it at the other bit of dialogue. No? Okay. Wow. Bloodstain was found on the hidden lift. About Lotta's testimony, what she got. Now, this doesn't actually say her testimony on the murder. That's weird. can't take a closer look at the raincoat. Yeah, I'm still kind of stuck on the blood. Maybe this pool of blood. Try showing the other pool of blood. There's 2 pools of blood. Nope, not that one. No problem at all. Yeah, no worries counting. I'm still pretty early in trying to figure this out, so. If the PRC asserts that the victim was killed during the auction, that would mean all the bidders were witnesses, right? Yeah. Heck of a lot of good in her testimony. Oops. I'll show you the pool about it this last bit. Of course they have nothing for a motive, because whenever they're training someone they never come up with a motive. Yeah, that's not it. Yeah. Think onto some different lines. Another thing is, if she was planning to murder, she would have brought her own murder weapon, but they seem to be wanting me to question the location of the murder at the moment. Now, let's take another look at that photo. Now, there's already blood on the hand, so that, yeah, that... Now, what's the second page? Okay, yeah, this is the rest of Lotta's testimony of her actually witnessing the murder. Alright. Yo! Logic. It's good. Judge Courtney, I have found it to be strange for a while now. Why is Miss Hart here with us? She is an eyewitness to this case. Isn't it only natural for her to be in attendance? Aw, shucks. I reckon I'm more of an ear witness than an eyewitness. It seems that gaining the trust of others isn't your strong point, Judge Courtney. Perhaps I simply do not wish to be as tactless as you. It appears you have failed to get the witness to tell you the most vital information. Please look at this photo. This was taken by Miss Hart. This photo seems to have been taken in the storeroom. And what of it? According to your reasoning, the incident took place on the viewing platform. However, Miss Hart encountered the incident in the storeroom. That's right, it had taken place just before this photo was taken. Wait! If that's true, then Justine's reasoning... Exactly, it does not hold up. But what? Miss Hart, allow me to ask you again. You saw the person in the photo with your own eyes, correct? I sure did. I seen him plain as day with my own 2 eyes. And what did you think at the time? I figured I was about to get me a big scoop, you know? Oh, I guess that makes sense. fake letter works as... Oh, yeah, that's true. So many holes in the case. What does the game want me to do first? Yeah. That's not what I meant. What did you think of that person? Huh? Well, I reckon she'd help me bring home the bacon. Are you mocking me? Oh, shucks, don't make that scary old face. It was just a harmless little joke. The person in the red raincoat, I reckoned they were the culprit. I hope you understand now. The crime occurred in the... Prosecutor Edgeworth, I cannot understand your argument if you do not say it out loud. We were just trying to say it. If you had simply asked, I would have been more than willing to explain. Explain what? The sounds Miss Hart heard may not necessarily be related to the case. That is impossible. Enough of your excuses. Was the voice that Miss Hart heard really that of Miss Crane? Such a shady conversation must have had something to do with the case. What did her voice sound like? Her voice? Well, it beats me. How was I supposed to know? They were both using voice changes. Yes, the voices Miss Hart heard had been altered by a device. We must therefore question whether or not they have any bearing on this case. You need not object just because you wish to sigh. Judge Courtney, it seems I have greatly overestimated you. No, Courtney is quite amazing, you see. You claim that the sounds Miss Hart heard have no bearing on this case. Even if they do not, it doesn't change the fact that the crime took place in the storeroom. Okay, now I'm going to have to show the bloodstain. Could these people have such a strong case? Yep. At the very least, the crime must have occurred before the victim went up to the rooftop. The reason being, this evidence proves the crime occurred before the victim went up to the viewing platform. It's the ladder! Judge Courtney, could you take a look at this area? Prosecutor Edgeworth, what area are you referring to? Around here somewhere? Please be more specific. Ugh, it seems I was wrong. This photo was taken after Miss Hart heard the sounds in the storeroom. There must be something in the photo that connects the sounds to the case. As I thought, you cannot show the connection between the sounds and the case. Judge Courtney, that is not true. Get my health back. Yeah. Since everyone is in disguise, we can't assume the auction was involved at all. In fact, you don't believe there even was a murder. That sounds like their logic right now. The blood. At first, I thought the person in the red raincoat was the culprit. Well, Miss Hart's testimony certainly made it sound that way. Precisely. It was because she saw that the person's hand was covered in blood. Anyone who heard her testimony would have arrived at the same conclusion. The person in the red raincoat was the culprit, and the blood on their hand was the victim's. However, if the person in the red raincoat was the victim, then the situation changes completely. Since blood can be seen in this photo, it must have been taken after the crime occurred. It seems we've been under the wrong impression in regards to the victim's condition. This photo shows the true condition of the victim. The victim... The victim saved their game before deciding to explore every option. the culprit still alive after the attack? Yeah, I think we're still alive after the attack is the right one, so let's pick the other ones first. The victim was the conductor of the black market auction. According to what Miss Hart said, even after the victim was hit, the auction still went on, right? Indeed, that is correct. So wouldn't it be impossible for the victim to have been the conductor? I overlooked that. This photo was taken after Miss Hart heard the sounds in the storeroom. In that case, the blood on that hand must mean... Indeed, there is only one answer. In other words, the victim... Actually, this would make sense if we're looking at the culprit here. I'll try struck the culprit. The victim struck the culprit. That was probably when her hand got covered in blood. Prosecutor Edgeworth, all the blood we found at the crime scene belonged to the victim. Your reasoning doesn't seem to hold up. Oh, I overlooked that. Alright, so I was right the first time. The Truth Pack, $30 USD DLC, 1 in 5 chance of getting the truth if you buy this pack. Oh. The victim was definitely attacked in the storeroom. Immediately afterward, the victim was seen with blood on her hand. That must mean the victim was still alive even after she was attacked. The blood on her hand must have come from her own wound. No way! Are you saying that she died from a hand injury? No, that is not the case. I suspect she just held her hand against the wound. It can't be seen in the photo, but at this moment she must have already suffered a fatal wound. Oh, if that's true, then it changes a lot of things, you know? It seems you understand. This refutes the allegations against Kay. Kay encountered the victim after this picture was taken. I believe at that point in time, the victim was already on the verge of death. It's likely Kay just happened to be present when the victim reached the end of her strength. That is quite the coincidence. Indeed, I can only say that she was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Prosecutor Edgeworth, it seems you have forgotten a crucial fact. You mean that, right? He must be pretending that he hasn't noticed it, you see. What did you say? Are you implying that I forgot something? Courtney, I think it's about time you gave him his last rites. Hey, Pops, Justine's with me, you know. Don't order her around like that. You know, even though you're my son, you're so embarrassing. I'm not embarrassing. I'm sorry, but you're both rather embarrassing. Justine, give Mr. Edgeworth his... Very well. I shall give him his last rites. Edgeworth's contradiction. When the body was found, there were 3 wounds in Miss Crane's chest. I'm sure you're well aware what kind of wounds these were, right? Yes, she was stabbed in the heart with the 3-pronged candelabra. Is there any person who could survive such an injury? Please take a close look at the autopsy report. Can you still say the same thing after reading it? Well done, Justine. With this, Mr. Edgeworth will... I will offer a rebuttal, of course. Why would you do that? Didn't you hear what Justine just said? Of course I did, and I still plan to object to it. It's not fair. You're always opposing me at every turn. It was never my intention to oppose you. Huh? Really? It's simply not worth my time. I see. So that's how it is. Yep. After all, I'm... That's enough, you know. You're embarrassing your father, you see. Huh? What do you mean, Pops? Edgeworth's contradiction. Alright, let's go look at the autopsy report. Do we have that? There it is. Oh, that's right, there was a burn mark as well. Interesting. Cause of death was stab wounds to the left chest with a candelabra. Head wound was post-mortem. I mean, it doesn't say she died instantly. When the body was found, there were 3 wounds in Miss Crane's chest. 3 wounds. That sounds rather painful. Indeed. We must punish the culprit accordingly. Kay, do not listen to what she says. Judge Courtney, please continue your reasoning. Very well. She had 3 wounds. I'm sure you're well aware what kind of wounds these were, right? Why don't you ask Sebastian instead? Of course, Sebastian knows all about it. Huh? Me? Yeah, I know everything. He's obviously lying. Sebastian, maybe you should sneak a peek at the autopsy report, you know? Let's see here. The fatal wound was caused by the candelabra. Oh, so that's how it was. Has he not read it? Ahem. The cause of the wound was just as Sebastian said. Hope Jill doesn't end up with a demonic arm. Victims in Edgy's cases never die instantly, yes. It's true. Yes, she was stabbed in the heart with a 3-pronged candelabra. So the cause of death was a stab wound to the heart. Is that correct? Yes. The candelabra pierced right into her heart. Since this was Dr. Young's medical opinion, it must be the truth. The coroner's medical opinion follows my own opinion. Therefore, it's perfect. I certainly cannot ignore the autopsy reports, however... Hey, don't ignore my opinion! However, if the cause of death was a stab wound to the victim's chest, wouldn't it contradict that piece of evidence? Oh, he's totally ignoring me. Justine, say something! Yes, I will not allow you to ignore my reasoning. Dun, dun, dun. When the autopsy report doesn't mention the heart. Mr. Edgeworth? We'll be fine, Kay. There's nothing for you to worry about. Evidence that the victim was alive after the incident. If I can just find that, Kay will be... Is there any person who could survive such an injury? At the very least, we cannot be certain that she died instantly. Even if she still had a little bit of life left, I doubt she would have held on for long. Can people survive after being stabbed in the chest? In some cases, maybe they can. Although, maybe they can't. Huh. So in the end, which one is it? No such human exists. If you think they do, then first... Please take a close look at the autopsy report. Can you still say the same thing after reading it? According to the autopsy report, the stab wounds to the left chest caused the fatality. Correct. The autopsy report itself is the foundation for my reasoning. In other words, I just have to shatter that foundation, right? I don't find that amusing at all. I look forward to seeing you try. Nevertheless, please take a close look at the autopsy report before you make a rebuttal. Show me that your reasoning is not just mere conjecture. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth? I ever seen that dialogue? Alright, he mentioned that piece of evidence. So what was their response to the photo? I mean, the photo shows the victim walking around. I'm gonna save. Honestly doubt he can even read at this rate. Oh, poor to best. Any person who could survive such an injury. Well, I'll try showing the photo. Check out my photo. Never mind. Take back my photo. I mean, the autopsy report itself doesn't say what she's saying it says, so I could try just showing that. Nope. Never mind. It's not that. Hey, Lewis. Welcome. Love the mystery this game has. Yeah, the cases are really well written. I'm really enjoying them. They're really good. We also found bloodstains on the ladder. We don't really have evidence to prove that, but we did. We saw. I mean, there's still the blood on the lift. Yeah, there's so many holes in her argument. I don't know which one to attack and how. Her argument doesn't make any sense, considering the evidence. Victim's fingerprints and blood were found on the hood, but not on the rest of it. No, that contradicts the photo. Hang on, let me just... Right, where's the part where he's like, that contradicts that piece of evidence? I'll show you the autopsy report here. Nope. Her reasoning is so bad. What order do I tear it apart in? Photo where the victim's walking around. Nope. Not that one. There's also the feeling that maybe I'm just presenting the right things at the wrong statement. Oops. Look at the autopsy report again. Yeah, there's the thing about the head wound being post-mortem. The burn mark on her hand. Try presenting the raincoat because it doesn't have blood on the chest. Okay, I found the right one. Nice. Chairman DeBest, do you know what this is? It seems to be a red raincoat. How about it, Courtney? The victim, Miss Crane, was wearing this earlier. Prosecutor Edgeworth, must I repeat my explanation to you all over again? I suppose it just might come to that. Judge Courtney, answer me this. This red raincoat was stained with blood. Do you happen to remember where specifically those bloodstains were located? Of course I do. They were on the hood. But wait, it can't be. What does this mean? Judge Courtney, were there any other bloodstains besides the one on the hood? None were detected. Don't you think it's strange? The victim died from a stab wound to the chest. In that case, there should have been bloodstains on the front of the raincoat. However, the only blood they found was on the hood. This is a huge contradiction. The wound on the victim's head is no ordinary wound. After all, the victim sustained this wound before she was stabbed in the chest. It does appear that way, doesn't it? The victim first suffered the head wound. If she had already been stabbed in the chest, the raincoat would have been stained with blood. Therefore, it is unthinkable that her chest was stabbed before she suffered the head wound. So the order of the wounds would be first the head, followed by the chest. However, does that really change the situation? With this, a contradiction is born, one that overturns all of our assumptions up until now. Is the change really that great? I look forward to hearing it. Well then, this contradiction, why don't you show it to me? With evidence. First I'll save my game. Yeah, because the autopsy... What does this actually mean? Is the autopsy report fake? Which piece of evidence shows the contradiction that arises from the order of the wounds? The Yatagarasu badge. This piece of evidence shows the huge contradiction. I have absolutely no idea what you are trying to say. I'm sorry, me too. Same here. Me too. So it wasn't this? It is unthinkable that her chest was stabbed before she suffered the head wound, and thus a major contradiction is born within that piece of evidence. Prosecutor Edgeworth, there was no contradiction after all, was there? On the contrary, Judge Courtney, if the victim sustained her head wound before she was stabbed in the chest, a huge contradiction arises. This is the autopsy report written by Dr. Young. According to this, the head wound was post-mortem. But that's not what the raincoat shows. Exactly. It's the exact opposite. So the raincoat could be false evidence. Bailiff, hurry and summon Dr. Bonnie Young at once. Until we hear what she has to say, we cannot close the curtains on this case. Yes, ma'am. Understood. Dr. Young is a busy person. It will take some time for her to arrive. In the meantime, let us try viewing this case from another angle. There's something that's been on my mind. One of the key figures in this case. The conductor. We still don't know who that person is. Now that you mention it, even after our investigation, we still have no idea who it is. The conductor has come up time and time again during this hearing. However, at this point in time, their identity remains a mystery. How about it? Do you have any ideas? I'm still not sure at the moment. However, there is someone I have in mind. A certain individual involved with this case, who might know something about it. Who's that? Blaze the Best. I demand your testimony. What? Don't say such a stupid thing. Why would you suspect Pops? Are you trying to cast suspicion towards the chairman of the PIC? Do you understand what that means? Status and prestige mean nothing before the truth. That man is trying to pin the crime on Kay. The evidence that was in Kay's possession, the ticket stub, the mask, the corsage, these items did not come into her possession out of her own volition. By some method, that man purposely planted them on her personage. It is hard to believe such a sudden accusation, but I'll ask just in case. Why would he do that? Obviously, to direct suspicion towards Kay. I succeeded in drawing out those words for him earlier. Mr. Chairman, your response? Are you too shocked to speak? And what of it? Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said, what of it? You say that you drew out some words from me, but you don't have a shred of proof, you know. No one else heard it but you. It just doesn't work like that, you see. Or do you have something else? You know, some kind of basis for your argument? His confidence. He also showed it at the cell. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I would like you to explain once more. I trust we have your permission, Mr. Chairman. But of course, I'm pretty interested in this matter myself, you know. I'd like to know just what part of me seems criminal to Edgeworth. How about the whole thing? Courtney, what blood? No one told me about any blood stains. The raincoat is clean as a whistle. Might be a bit obscure. Ah, okay, At first I was thinking a reference to Goddo from the third game, but that wasn't a raincoat, that was an apron. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not sure about that reference. I don't place it at the moment. There's no one as honest as I am, you see. How can he say that with a straight face? Let's start from the top. The fact that the auction was held in this room is a cause for suspicion. This is the PIC meeting room. I imagine it would be difficult for non-members to enter. That's why all the members have key cards, you know. I think we can assume that multiple auctions have been held here before. Therefore, suspecting a member of the PIC would be the best. Yes, because the conductor had to have been a PIC member. Wait, no! What was that all about? What do I do, Pops? I just helped the enemy! Sebastian really is an idiot, you know. But you see, Edgeworth, I'm not the only one with access, you know. Indeed, there are 11 members in the PIC. Even if we rule out the victim, Miss Crane, there are still 10 potential suspects. It's not me. But it couldn't be the chairman, right? I don't know who it is, but whoever it is should just come forward. Yes. Everyone just calm down, you know. Edgeworth, is that all you got? Where's the evidence to suspect me? Oh, so you've fallen silent. But you've gone too far, you see. I won't forgive you anymore. It's too late for regrets, you know. I'm a very important man, you see. Former chief prosecutor and chairman of the PIC. It's fine if you're not prepared to face the fire, you know? Because you see... Either way, it won't make any difference. Ugh, those eyes. Because I'm gonna bully you, is what his testimony is called. You've been rambling on for quite a while about the most trivial details, you know? Like the location of the murder, the order of the wounds, and what else was there? It just doesn't matter, you know? Because you see, none of that means anything, you know? Think about it. We've got the suspect herself saying she killed the victim. That's all that matters, you see. She'll even get a lighter sentence with her confession, you know. Now then, if there are any contradictions, be my guest. How can that be considered a testimony? There must be a contradiction somewhere. That person... He's very important, isn't he? Mr. Edgeworth, it's all right. Let's just give up. Surely I must have killed her. I can even remember it. Don't be tied down by your muddled memories. If you want to believe in something, believe in your own innocence. Believe in me, who believes in you. But my opponent is the PIC chairman. Taking him down won't be easy. However, he has underestimated me. If I can take advantage of that. Believe in me because I believe in you and you believe in me, and goes around in a circle. There must be a contradiction everywhere. Fix that for you, Edgeworth. That was it? Nice. Courtney acting surprised that the obviously evil chairman might be involved. Say it isn't so. You've been rambling on for quite a while about the most trivial details, you know. If these trivial details create contradictions in the case, we cannot call it the truth. That's fine, as long as the rest of the case makes sense, you know? Every case is going to have a small contradiction or two, you see. But if we get bogged down by the details, we won't be able to arrest a criminal. Trials would go on forever, you see. You, of all people, should understand, you know? I don't. That's why I'm asking you. Young folks these days. Anyways, you were rambling on about stuff. Like the location of the murder, the order of the wounds, and... what else was there? Yeah, the location of the murder is definitely a trivial detail. That's a Gurren Lagann reference. What is? I haven't seen Gurren Lagann. We've had a corrupt chief of police, corrupt head of prosecutors, puppet chief prosecutors. What, next head of defence? Yeah, who runs the Bar Association. Yeah. Next it'll be them. The autopsy report, and the questions about the conductor. Were you even listening? Talk is cheap, you know. I was listening, you see. But I didn't think much of it, you know. You didn't think much of it? Even after I brought up all those issues? Perhaps your judgment needs to be questioned, rather than my ability as a prosecutor. That's a good one, Edgeworth. Believe in the me that believes in you? Oh, okay, yep. Nice. But you see, it just doesn't matter, you know? Because you see, none of that means anything, you know? How can you say it doesn't matter? Are you trying to suppress the truth? Well, you see, it simply doesn't matter as much as you say it does, you know? You see, Edgeworth, you're only saying it matters to avoid the real issue here. Think about it. We've got the suspect herself saying she killed the victim. It may be true she confessed. However, that does not make it the truth. She is suffering from memory loss, so we must question the credibility of her testimony. He's got his own objection voice. Even if you say that, you know, it still won't solve anything. What good will it do to deny her confession? Sounds like nonsense to me. Wanna try asking her again? I think she'll just say that she's the murderer again, though. Very well. Let's try asking her again, one last time. I'd like to hear from Kay herself, whether or not she is the culprit. Huh? From me? Will that be alright? If this goes poorly, it will be quite unfavourable for you. I do not mind. However, I shall ask Kay the question myself. I'm moved to tears, you know. Oh, how touching, you know. How very touching. Fine then, I'll let you ask her. However, I have one condition. If all this proves to be a waste of time. Then that will be the end of it. How's that sound? The end of the hearing? Yes. It seems you can be smart once in a while, Sebastian. In other words, you see, if she confesses again, Kay Faraday will be found, beyond the shadow of a doubt, guilty. Yep, it's a fine idea. But she hasn't had a trial. Guilty? Beyond the shadow of a doubt? Yeah, that's right. That's harsh. But either way, if I do nothing, she'll be declared guilty. Kay. Yes? I know what I'm asking of you is unreasonable, but please, I want you to answer me. It doesn't matter how tiny it is. Do you remember anything? Anything that would prove your innocence? Why? Why would you go that far for me? I can't do it. I'm sorry. I'm too scared to remember. Because I might have done something even worse. If that were the case, I would only make things worse for you, Mr. Edgeworth. Kay Faraday must have been a despicable criminal. Someone who betrayed your trust. Don't worry. We've only known each other for a short while, but I know you very well. I'd even say that I know you better than yourself, now that you've lost your memories. You cannot possibly be the culprit, because your true identity is... Oh god, this is the whole health bar? When did I last save? I wonder if we get a special game over here. Who did his English objection? I'll probably look it up. Yeah, I want to see if we get a special game over here. His real identity is the German Ninja. Okay, I would like you to look at this. This is your true identity. I'm sorry, I don't remember anything. Really? Still no... Wow, I'm very disappointed in the game overs in this one. Very disappointed in them. Been a while since a one-hit KO event. Yeah! That was unexpected. The games haven't done that in ages. Alright, how far back are we? Oh my gosh, quite a far back. Quite a far back? Quite a bit. Far back. See, this is why I'm a compulsive saver. And then I stop being a compulsive saver for a second and then that happens. My curiosity destroys me. My entire life bar is now at stake. Enjoy. Yeah! We didn't get to... We had the rest of the cross-examination to do as well. We got pulled into that from like, just pressing a statement, so we've got some more dialogue to check out as well. We just have to get back there. So I'm wondering if the best is a prosecutor just because his father, he can use him as a pawn. Can use him to manipulate investigations. Because his father doesn't seem to like him, so I don't think it's for his sake. So I think it's to use him. Might as well drink some more water. The best useful for something? You doubt it. Well, there's got to be a reason why he's here. He's so bad at his job that there's no way he got here on his own merits. I'm sorry, the best, but it's true. Hit my fast forward button. Hey, he doesn't have a perfect rectangle of badges, he's got one missing. Also, he's wearing his badge on his collar. I noticed that the best is wearing his badge as well, where you can see it. Unlike what Edgeworth and Von Karmers do. Get there eventually. Yeah, he wears his badge on his lapel. Damn, we were quite far back. I keep forgetting that Lotta's here because she's been very surprisingly quiet. Also, it's weird not having Gumshoe around. I mean, it makes sense that he wouldn't get called in here since he's definitely an ally of Edgeworth. But it's weird not having him around. we finally got to this part. Yeah, I can hold the B button for this part. Good. Because I'm gonna bully you. Yeah, so by pressing a specific statement is how we got to all that stuff. So we didn't get to press the other ones after it. If there's anything interesting there. That's all that matters, you see. She'll even get a lighter sentence for their confession, you know. I wouldn't call that a confession. You probably forced her to say it, didn't you? Even if you say that, you know. What do you think, Courtney? Yes, sir. There is no doubt. She confessed to her own sin. You see, Edgeworth, I know you want to believe in Kay Faraday, but, you know, to deny her own confession, I'm not sure what to make of that, you see. It just means that you don't really trust her, you know. What did you say? Oh my, what scary eyes you have. Please don't devour me. There is no way there is a contradiction in a testimony like this. He has underestimated me. If I can take advantage of that. Please don't devour me, demon prosecutor. Oh. I can't skip through this dialogue, which is interesting. Got to hear his scary objection again. Also, he's got a massive, he's got the badge pattern as just a massive badge on his shoulder. He thinks quantity is quality. Well, it ain't. Also, their threats are really weird about her being found guilty beyond a shadow of a doubt, because, I mean, she'd still get a trial with a defense attorney, right? Just call on Phoenix and he'll save her. Yeah, save here. In case we present the wrong thing. I'm assuming it's just the badge though. She's the Gata suit. Still love the design detail of the best's hair, where it changes from exclamation mark to question mark. It's really clever. I mean, they're the prosecutorial committee, but they're not judges. This isn't a court of law. Okay, he's a great character. Going to assume Courtney will be the judge at the trial if it comes to that. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. That's a good point. She'll be very biased. Her identity is the Yatagarasu. The great thief, Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu is a noble thief who would never stoop to murder. No, it's useless. After all, no matter what, that memory still remains. This image that's stuck in my head, I just can't get rid of it. That means I must have... There's no clear evidence to prove that you're the culprit, besides your own confession. Remember what I said? You must believe in yourself. Or perhaps you cannot trust my words? No, that's not it. It's because you are trying to save someone like me. You've already lost so much, all for my sake. I can't bear it anymore. Please. Please just give up. I see now. I thought it was strange. The reason you were acting like you wanted to be found guilty was because you were concerned about me. That is just like you, Kay. It's because you're a good person, Mr. Edgeworth. Unfortunately, I may fall short of your expectations. I'm not trying to be a good person. No matter how much you may want me to give up, I'll keep trying to save you. That is the nature of who I am. Whether or not it is a burden for you is none of my concern. Kay, believe in yourself once more. You are a noble, great thief. What you should be doubting is your memory of committing the murder. That is my wish above all else. Please. Ah! Oh, no, come back. Oh. Kay. Okay, I thought she ran away. What is it? Did you remember something? If she remembers something now, it'd be like a bad movie. Bull. Bull? Prosecutor Edgeworth, please ask her to clarify. Well, Kay, what do you mean by bull? I remember now. The person in the red raincoat had that with her. The stuffed bull doll. I'm certain of it. Is that true? Is that true, defendant? Yes, Your Honour. The court hereby accepts the defendant's statement as a new piece of testimony. Quit messing around, Courtney. A testimony like that cannot be accepted, you know. Your objection has been noted, sir. However, testimony about the victim's belongings has been lacking up until now. Nevertheless, you know, her vague memories cannot be trusted, you know. Her memories are vague. That would be bad for us as well. Didn't you say this earlier yourself, Mr. Chairman? Since we had the suspect's confession, we don't need to worry about the trivial details. If we decide to doubt her memories... He's just having a bit of a breakdown there. Then we must also doubt her confession, which is the main foundation of our case. Are you willing to do that, sir? You're right. Well, never mind then. I shall leave it to you. The badge being the right answer. What game is this? Yes. A memory of a murder you didn't commit. Get in line, Kay. Thank you very much. We did it. It was touch and go for a while there, though. However, those words of Judge Courtney just now... It almost feels as if she is on our side. Prosecutor Edgeworth, do you know anything about this stuffed animal? The stuffed animal Kay spoke of must have been this. We found it in the storeroom. It is believed to be one of the items for the auction. This is... Do you know something about it, Justine? No. It's just a bit different from what I had imagined. Indeed. It's certainly not what I would have expected the victim to be carrying. Let's examine every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Oh, he loves that line, doesn't he? Oh, we've got a horn. Got a hole. What do we check out first? The right horn seems to be fine, but the entire balance feels off. This horn... It looks like you can move it. What? Did we just turn on a bomb? What was that buzzing sound? It seems this toy is equipped with a recording device. And... I knew who you were right away. You can't hide that burn from me. Silence, huh? I've been waiting for my chance to get revenge all this time. Ah! I don't know how to do screams. I don't want to just scream my lungs out. Is this the moment of the murder? Who could have recorded something like this? A burn mark. This is... There ain't no doubt about it. This here was what I heard. We cannot verify when these voices were recorded. It's also possible that they aren't related to the case at all. If only we had some video as well. Is she on her side because she's the most fucking pedantic fucking... Just gonna save. A bomb inside a stuffed animal. No way. Like the teddy bomber from Cowboy Bebop. How convenient. Yeah. That's hogwash. I'm telling you, that right there was the conversation that I heard. The victim was holding on to it, right? I reckon it must have been recorded when she got attacked. That certainly is a possibility. However, your testimony alone is insufficient. I require something with a little more credibility. Again, her words. It almost sounds as if she's trying to give me advice. Judge Courtney, there's no mistake that those voices were from the incident. Please recall the audio that was recorded by the stuffed animal. I knew who you were right away. You can't hide that burn from me. If we compare this part of the recording with a certain piece of evidence, we can prove it. This evidence shows that the recording took place during the moment of the crime. Badge. Judge Courtney, what do you think of this piece of evidence? Presenting something that has nothing to do with the recording would not do you any good. Oh, I could have sworn it was this. Prosecutor Edgeworth, is there really evidence to prove that the voices were recorded during the incident? Please recall the audio that was recorded by the stuffed animal. She has a burn mark on her hand. Oh. Family friendly, just mutter angrily under our breath. somehow gets video evidence, that's sadly not enough. If only we were able to directly witness the event. Wasn't referencing Cowboy Bebop, but you're not going to disclose what you were referencing? Ah, okay. The Autopsy Report. And exactly what part of the Autopsy Report shows that? Do I have to point to it? This part shows that the recording took place during the moment of the crime. PIC. If you look at this part of the Autopsy Report, I think you will understand. Specifically, which part are you referring to? Around here? Even if you ask me, it will not do you any good. Gwah! I guess it wasn't here. Why don't we listen to the contents of the recording one more time? There might be something important. Indeed. It's also not too late to look over the autopsy report. Burn mark. Take that. I remember clearly what that voice said. You can't hide that burn from me. On the victim's hand, there was a burn mark. Indeed. It just happened to match up, you see. But what of it? According to case testimony, the victim had been holding the stuffed animal. And it just happened to record a characteristic of the victim, namely the burn. That's just a coincidence. I mean, it could happen, right? I do not think so. It is hard to believe that all of this is simply a coincidence. The voices on the stuffed animal were most likely recorded during the incident. One of these voices must belong to the true culprit. From what we've heard, it must have been the one who was doing most of the talking. But what's the point? In the end, we still can't tell their gender or identity, you know. Indeed, because they had been using voice changes. It can't be helped. It seems the situation has become quite clear. The conversation Miss Hart overheard was between the culprit and Miss Crane. That's what I've been telling you from the start. And from this, we will understand a new fact. Please enlighten us then. I trust you have no objections, Mr. Chairman? Do what you want. According to Miss Hart's testimony, just before the incident, 2 people came up from the auction hall, using the lift. It must have been the conductor and one of the auction guests. They probably went there to settle the payment after winning a bid. And then, it was there that the crime was carried out. Since the auction continued after the crime took place, we are led to a single truth. This is the new fact that we have arrived at. The culprit's no. Culprit could be the conductor. You think Edgy believes in channeling? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I think the culprit's the conductor. Yeah, culprit's the conductor. Let's go with the victim was the conductor, which we know isn't true. The victim of this case was the conductor. That's all fine and dandy, but the auction still went on after the murder, you know. No. Seems that was wrong. If I organise all the information I've acquired up until now, I can only arrive at one answer. Prosecutor Edgeworth, just what is this new fact you were talking about? The culprit's Jill Crane! The culprit of this case is Jill Crane. It has to be her. Prosecutor Edgeworth, this is not the time to be joking around. As I thought, this wasn't it. Oh, I thought there'd be funnier dialogue for that one. So, what was the reasoning? And what was the, I'll listen to that. I'll listen to the recording again. We can play back the audio that was recorded by twisting this horn. Knew who you were right away. To get revenge all this time. I wonder what he wants revenge for. Hey, we never finished looking at this, did we? What's that? A cherry blossom petal is stuck in its soft fur. According to Kay's story, this had been dropped under the cherry tree, so it's no wonder that a cherry blossom petal had gotten caught in there. The left horn is missing. Although I am curious as to the whereabouts of the missing horn, even if we were to find it, repairing it would be no easy task. Anyway, I'm just trying to figure out the motive and stuff. Since the conductor was the only one who could keep the auction going, we can conclude that the deceased victim could not have been the conductor. Justine? Please be quiet here, okay? If the conductor was not the victim, then they must have been the culprit. Please wait. That alone is insufficient. Of course, even I do not intend to rely only upon the process of elimination. Certain traces left at the crime scene led me to believe that the culprit is the conductor. Well then, please show it to us. What were the traces left at the crime scene that let me deduce the culprit is the conductor? This is a long segment. Traces left at the crime scene. Pool of blood here. Was it left behind to hide the storeroom's existence? So we've already... Yeah, we've concluded that the conductor is a member of the PIC as to why they had access to this room. And so them leaving this bloodstain behind is them trying to make sure the storeroom wasn't found. That's what I think. But maybe it's Kay's badge? This is the piece of evidence that shows the culprit is the conductor. I don't quite understand. Even if you don't understand, everyone else certainly does. I think there are people besides my idiot son who don't understand, you know. It seems that wasn't it. If the culprit was the conductor, they would have wanted to hide something. If the culprit was the conductor, they just have to present that. Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you say the culprit is the conductor, could you present evidence to prove that? Yeah, I think it's the bloodstain. The culprit purposely left a large amount of blood in the meeting room. In doing so, we were led to believe that the meeting room had been the scene of the crime. It was a ruse by the true culprit, to hide the blood that had fallen from the storeroom. So we wouldn't find out about the existence of the black market auction, correct? Indeed. If the culprit had been unrelated to the auction, there would have been no need to do such a thing. Ergo, the culprit could only have been the conductor. Well then, do you have any idea as to who the conductor might possibly be? The auction hall is at the PIC meeting room, And furthermore, there is a storeroom above it. The conductor must have been, at the very least, a member of the PIC. So, in other words, you suspect me, I take it? Isn't it natural to suspect you, the one with the most authority in the PIC? You are quite capable. I'll give you that much, at least. But you know, like I said before, you're far too naive. You have nothing, you know? There's no evidence that proves I am the culprit, you see. If, by some chance, you do have evidence, then why don't you present it? Do I have evidence that Blaze is a culprit? Hell if I know. Ba-da-ba-bum. Ba-da-da-da. Ba-da-ba-bum. What was that keycard record? Yeah. If anything, that makes Courtney look like the culprit. Conductor's clothes. He wouldn't be silly enough to be wearing that right now, would he? Under his jacket? I kinda doubt it. I'll try I have it, but I think I don't have it. No, there is evidence. Evidence that you are the culprit. Oh, then why don't you show it to me? This so-called evidence. Please to best. This piece of evidence proves that you are the culprit. Pretty flower. Could you take a look at this piece of evidence? Edgeworth, and what about it? Blaze to best. Don't you understand the meaning of this piece of evidence? Well, you know, I can't say I do. I mean, it doesn't look like it's related at all. So this wasn't it. Blaze to best has to be the culprit. Yeah, this could be a red herring. It could be that I just don't have it. Blaze himself has suggested that he is the criminal. He's been showing that strange self-confidence for a while now. He knows that there is not a single piece of evidence left behind to incriminate him. If you play with fire, you're gonna get burned, Edgeworth. Just kidding. I always wanted to say that, you know. Well then, Courtney. I reckon I just remembered something too. Ooh, a lot of coming through for us. What? You also lost your memories? No, that ain't it. Something just popped into my head right now. Very well. Please tell us.
Objection.
Courtney, could you tell me what you are doing? Prosecutor Edgeworth will not give up until we have destroyed every last possibility. I'm destroying every possibility. so that he will never oppose us again. Justine, I don't really know what's going on, but well said. Pops, I'm going to help too. After all, he's the one who's wrong. Fine then. Let's hear what she has to say. Well then, Miss Hart, please proceed. Sure thing. Just leave it to me. Please make sure you only tell the truth. Ain't that a matter of course? I'm a bona fide journalist of justice, you know. Somehow I feel uneasy. You're saying the culprit was the conductor, right? That means the victim was a customer. Now, here's where it gets a mite strange. You see, there were 11 people at the auction. When the auction continued after the incident, I went straight on over and snuck a peek down below. You don't mean... That's exactly what I mean. All 11 people were still there, present and accounted for. What? Are you sure about that? I'm confused. Sure, I'm sure. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. So it started with 11 people, and there were still 11 people after the murder. Was it a ghost? I love the best. You know, Sebastian, normally a prosecutor would call that a contradiction, you know? Were there really no changes in the auction at all? Really, I'm telling you, the auction just went on like normal. But there was one itty-bitty thing, though. What was it? You know those hammers you always see at an auction? Like the one that lady is using over there. An auction gavel, perhaps? Yep, that's the one. All of a sudden, I couldn't hear the sound no more. It'd been banging away just prior to it. The sound of the gavel? Does that have anything to do with the case? I have no idea what's going on. If Miss Hart's testimony is the truth, then this matter has taken a grave turn. If the victim was neither the conductor nor a customer, the very foundation of Prosecutor Edgeworth's reasoning would collapse. Justice prevails, as they say. I hope you've learned your lesson, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Edgeworth, there really is nothing we can do. It's not over yet. Some mysteries still remain. So I think... I don't know. I have to think. If I don't, then Kay will be... Did you get the answer you wanted this time? Well then, a deal's a deal. Please wait, Mr. Chairman. I believe it is still too early to make a judgment. There are still a few mysteries left in this case. Until we have solved them all, we cannot call this a complete victory. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Edgeworth? I was expecting you to shout, "Hold it," like you always do. Yes, of course. Once again, Judge Courtney has come to my aid. Well then, what is it? What sort of mysteries are left? Well, of course, there's the contradiction in the autopsy report. That kind of thing. I've brought her in. But what's wrong? Why were we suddenly called here? Did someone suddenly get sick? I'll begin preparing a compressed stat. Ouch! What'd you call me here for? Did something happen? Dr. Young, Miss Jensen, you have my gratitude for taking the trouble to come here. This won't take long, so please relax. Tell me what in blazes is going on. Of course. We called you here because something came up. Is that the first time I've seen her laugh? I love the best AN 2020. Those are words I can't take back now. Judge Courtney, just what are you planning? Bonnie Young, under the divine rule of law, please answer truthfully. There were no mistakes in your autopsy report, correct? Granny would never make a mistake. That's certainly strange. Huh? What's strange? This court has found an error in Dr. Young's autopsy report. Dr. Young, please tell the truth. Did you falsify the autopsy report? That's terrible! How can you accuse her of that? I have no idea what you are talking about. Why would I do such a thing in the first place? To protect the true culprit, of course. What you talking about? I would never do such a thing. How strange. In that case, why would there be an error in the autopsy report, I wonder? Prosecutor Edgeworth, what do you think? I don't know, my brain's fried. Oh, I expected you to press into her statement like you normally do. Why is she taking control of the situation and trying to help me? I don't know what her goal is, but I must play along. If the autopsy report you gave to Sebastian had been authentic, then the error should not have been there. Well, wait a minute, I didn't do anything! That is what we will figure out from this point on. Firstly, Dr. Young, I'd like to hear your testimony. Why do you want to hear her testimony? It will be pointless. I will be the one who decides whether or not it is pointless, not you. There are patients waiting for us. But Granny, ouch! Anyways, we don't have time for this. Is there any way I could convince you? This is of the utmost importance. Mr. Miles Edgeworth, Granny says she'll testify. So please, try to finish this quickly. If we don't return soon, there will be people in terrible suffering. And yet, you were lollygagging about on the viewing platform earlier. I promise you, this won't take long. Only if she tells me the truth, of course. Error in the autopsy report. That sounds like the name of a song. This is a long segment. There are no mistakes in Granny's autopsy reports. I've been working with corpses longer than you've been alive. There's no way I'd make a mistake in writing the autopsy report. Ouch! I got nothing to gain from falsifying the autopsy report. Is what she says. See? There's nothing strange at all. Yes, yes. That's right, you know. There's no way she would falsify it, you see. Under the name of the goddess of law, do you swear that this testimony is the truth? People needing injections, you're sure? Yes. Of course. Granny would never tell a lie. We were asking Dr. Young. We do not need to hear from a third party. I'm not a third party. I'm on Granny's side. If you raise an objection to my testimony, you'd best prepare yourself, you ex-prosecutor. I will definitely expose the contradiction in the autopsy report. An erroneous autopsy report in a case Edgy's involved in. Yeah, I'm gonna save. Haven't saved in a bit. There are no mistakes in Granny's autopsy reports. So, you're saying there is no way Dr. Young could have made a mistake? Of course! Doctors can't afford to make mistakes. This is a world where just one misdiagnosis can end a long career. I know that my granny, at least, would never. If I did something like that, you'd think they'd still let me run a hospital. I've been working with corpses longer than you've been alive. So in your long career, you've never once made a mistake. A doctor's only as good as the links of their track record. Heh, if we're just talking about a lengthy track record, that former chief prosecutor has one too. And yet his actual abilities don't seem to measure up. I hope that you're not the same as well. Ouch, that's a low blow, you know. But you know, Edgeworth, I don't make mistakes either, you see. Because you see, before I can make a mistake, those around me will have already made it instead. You see, I don't have time for mistakes. It's quite amazing, you know. It must be karma. You can't compare a chief prosecutor with a doctor. You really can't. There's no way I'd make a mistake in writing the autopsy report. Ouch! The victim wore this raincoat after suffering a blow to the head, and yet there was not a single drop of blood on the front of the raincoat. Therefore, it is impossible for the head wound to have been post-mortem. Well, that's ouch. I don't need you to tell me that. That's what I wrote down from the very beginning. The autopsy report says the head wound was post-mortem. That's completely different. Yeah. I relayed to Karen what to put down in the autopsy report. After that, it was none of my beeswax. Relayed to Karen? Please elaborate on that. Interesting. I'll come back to that one. I got nothing to gain from falsifying the autopsy report. You may have nothing to gain, but how about your granddaughter? Me? There isn't anything I could gain. If Karen had something to gain, then that girl of yours might have something too. How dare you accuse my little girl, who has never done harm to anybody? Yeah, aren't you ashamed of yourself? She should address those words to Blaze instead of me. I swear that the autopsy report wasn't falsified. Is what she says. See? There's nothing strange at all. Did you notice anything strange when you were performing the autopsy? I wonder... Huh? What is it, Granny? A strange man came by. Who are you calling strange? He wore some really strange clothes. He even had a frilly thing around his neck. Even though he was about to get canned, he still tried to run amok during my autopsy. Run amok is not something I've heard in a while. I'm talking about you, you frilly red brute. I see. So Mr. Edgeworth is a strange, frilly red brute. Kay, please don't only remember odd things about me. It doesn't look like Granny is lying. Miss Jensen is the one who is relaying Dr. Young's words. I'll have to confirm whether or not Miss Jensen is telling us the truth. Relayed everything to Karen. After that, it was none of my beeswax. Yeah, that would be a good thumbnail. I would like to verify once again what you saw when you examined the body. But that it would show... the thumbnail would show Kay and like bandages and stuff, and that would be a bit of a spoiler. Like we said, ouch! Oh, well, about that. She was done in by a thump to her noggin. Dr. Young, do you know when that happened? Before she died, of course. The wounds on her chest were post-mortem. That's what I relayed to Karen, so that's what should have been written in the report. That's what you relayed to her, eh? I'm finally beginning to see the truth. Well, that's, not what's in the report. Dr. Young, please confirm what this autopsy report says with your own eyes. Oh, should we see what the incorrect ones are? Yeah. True, I could cover her name maybe. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't check the incorrect responses for this pair. Dr. Young, could you take a look at this piece of evidence? I don't mind looking, but just what is that? Yeah, what is that? It doesn't really matter if you don't understand. If it doesn't matter, then you shouldn't have shown it to me from the start. She is quite right. She is quite a feisty old lady. However, I won't be defeated in a place like this. See if I got anything else. That's the same one as before. I'll check one more time and then we reload. Oh, same one? Okay. Or I've just gotten bad RNG, or there might only be one. I thought I had it figured out, but then the whole thing about everyone still being at the auction came up, and now I'm just kind of lost. Get to see the smug shrug again. Smug shrug. Dr. Young, please confirm what this autopsy report says with your own eyes. Oh, I'll read it out for you. Ouch! This autopsy report wasn't written by me. What? What do you mean? I don't know. But Granny, I can't say that. Miss Jensen, if you are trying to keep the truth in the dark, then, in place of the goddess of law, I shall hear your confession. Judge Courtney is talking with Dr. Young in private. What? Is that true? Understood. I shall convey your words to everyone else, Dr. Young. I properly relayed the autopsy report orally to that child. It seems my granddaughter must have mucked it up when she was writing it down. Wow! She mimicked her voice perfectly. There was no need for her to go that far, though. In other words, the contents of the autopsy report had been falsified. By your hand, Miss Jensen. Oh, I... With that, we've proven that the wound on her head came first, followed by her chest wound. Miss Jensen, why did you falsify the autopsy report? Hold on a second. She never said she falsified it, you know. She just made a teeny tiny mistake when she wrote it down. Feisty old lady would be a good thumbnail too. Yes, that's a good point. Post-mortem and ante-mortem sound kind of similar, you know? They are complete opposites. That is the very definition of falsification. Miss Jensen? Why would you lie? Okay, ouch! I want you to tell me too. Why would you do something like that? Granny, but I... Because you falsified the autopsy report, Kay fell under suspicion. Tell me why you did it. I can't say. I just can't say it. Not I don't want to say, but I can't say. You're all a bunch of bullies, you know. Ganging up on this poor girl who loves her grandmother so. She is totally unrelated to this. I think we can forgive her for one tiny mistake. That won't do. Aren't you the one with the most to lose if she testifies? Huh? What are you saying? You see, as a former prosecutor, you'll have to speak a little more clearly, you know. Very well. As you wish, I shall answer clearly. Miss Jensen played an essential role in this case. She was an accomplice. I don't know why she was an accomplice. I think he threatened her from the sounds of it. She was the victim! Miss Jensen was the victim. That's right, you know. Everyone's getting on her case for such a tiny mistake. In a way, the true victim of the case is this poor girl, you know. No, that wasn't what I meant. Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Jensen is still alive. Wouldn't that mean that she's not a victim? Indeed. Who did Miss Jensen falsify the report for? If I think about it like that, then I should understand Miss Jensen's role in the case. Edgeworth, how about you quit joking around and clearly say what's on your mind? Very well, as you wish. True culprit. Miss Jensen was the true culprit. That's a good one. Then how about we arrest her immediately? No, as I thought. That wasn't it. Get my health back. Hey American, welcome. Good to see ya. Miss Jensen falsified the autopsy report in order to assist the true culprit. Ouch! This girl's an accomplice. What's your basis for that claim? It was impossible for a single person to commit this crime in the first place. The crime could not have been committed without at least two people, namely because... We've got another multiple choice answer. Multiple choice question, whatever. The victim couldn't have been moved, the number of people wouldn't match. The report couldn't have been faked. The number of people wouldn't match. Okay, are we saying that she took the victim's place in the room so that they didn't know someone had been killed? Okay. The report couldn't have been faked. I'll try the victim couldn't have been moved, because I think this one's wrong. If there hadn't been an accomplice, the victim could not have been moved. But the victim is a woman. Wouldn't it be possible for someone to move her on their own? Certainly, that's true. Recall the facts before and after the incident. If the victim was also one of the participants, that creates a contradiction in her testimony, and we are led to only one answer. There's no basis that there had been an accomplice, you know? No, there is a basis. The report couldn't have been faked. If there was no accomplice, the autopsy report could not have been falsified. Mr. Edgeworth, although that might be true, isn't that a little weak as the basis for there being an accomplice? Oh, it seems that wasn't it. Okay. Those ones weren't very interesting. Why does that dude have a lighter in the courtroom? Because he's a douchebag, that's why. Yeah, he's the chairman of this committee. And he's an evil douchebag. If the conductor was the culprit, and one of the auction guests was the victim, it would contradict the witness's testimony that there were 11 people after the incident. What now? You got a problem with my testimony? Not at all. Rather, it is because I believe your testimony. That's why an accomplice must exist. So, you still won't admit that your reasoning is wrong? Up until now, we had not even considered the possibility of an accomplice. However, if there had been an accomplice, it changes the entire story completely. If the accomplice took the murdered auction guest's place, then the number of people remains 11. Oh, I see now. So that's what you're thinking. But, you know, wouldn't that have been quickly discovered? Miss Jensen and the victim have similar physiques. If she wore the victim's mask, she could have easily taken her place. Miss Jensen, did you switch places with the victim? I wouldn't. Who was the conductor? In other words, tell me who was the true culprit. I can't. I mean, that would also cause trouble for Granny. Ouch! But Granny... I will accept whatever wrongs you may have done. Just tell me everything. Granny! As I thought, it appears you really were the accomplice. He's seen this all before. Someone just does a weird breakdown in front of him. He's like, yeah, as I thought. Miss Jensen, why? Miss Jensen, would you please tell us? Yes. It's okay, Granny. I'm fine now. I switched places with the victim, Miss Crane. So you admit to being the conductor's accomplice? Yes, I helped out the conductor. I don't really know why, but for some reason... The conductor was expecting to be attacked by Miss Crane. The conductor expected an attack from the victim. They were so sure it was going to happen that they came up with a plan to counter it. A way to beat the victim at their own game. And that's when I was called in. I was told to wait in the storeroom before the auction began. Well there, you ain't fooling my eyes. If you were waiting in the storeroom, I reckon I would have bumped into you. After all, I've been up in that storeroom the entire auction. I'm telling the truth. I wonder about that, you know. Can we really believe a girl who would falsify a report? There should have been many places to hide in that storeroom. Am I going to have to point out where she hid? I mean, Edgeworth is also a douchebag, but yeah. Yes, it's true. Rip Granny's hair. Well, she got her bun done back up pretty quickly. Then by all means, tell me, where did our little nurse hide? Yup. The place in the storeroom where Miss Jensen hid was... behind the mask! Miss Jensen hid here. Prosecutor Edgeworth, do you think a person could hide in a place like that? I don't. I would like you to answer seriously. No, I knew this wasn't it. Why don't we take a look at the things that were in the storeroom one more time? Yes, there shouldn't have been that many places where one could hide in. Well, Edgeworth, where was this little nurse hiding? Isn't it weird that I have to point it out instead of we just asking her? Anyway, she was in the box. And they switched her with the dead body. Where's the box? There it is. Take that. She hid inside this costume trunk. A costume trunk, eh? Ah, now that you mention it, that box was already there before I snuck in. I figured I would hide in there myself, but it was wrapped up nice and tight with a chain. And it was locked too, so I had to give it up. I suspect that when you sneaked into the room, Miss Jensen was already inside the trunk. Yes, it would have been bad if one of the guests from the auction had opened the lid. After instructing me to hide inside, the conductor wrapped a chain around the costume trunk. I think they went downstairs using the lift shortly thereafter. It was right before the auction. So then, when the auction began, only you and Miss Hart were in the storeroom. Yes, that should be right. The auction had been going on as usual, but when a certain participant made the winning bid, the conductor committed the crime. Miss Hart must have heard the altercation that occurred then. You betcha! I was trembling behind that there statue the whole time, though. Following the altercation, Jill Crane was murdered. After killing Jill Crane, the conductor carried her body to the costume trunk. And Miss Jensen, who had been hiding in the trunk, was made to take Miss Crane's place. The victim's body was placed inside the costume trunk. The conductor then took Miss Jensen, who had been made to look like Jill Crane, and returned to the auction hall as if nothing had happened. Was this roughly what happened in the storeroom during the incident? Yes, that's right. Pulling the old switcheroo with one of the auction guests. Ain't that impossible? That gal and the murder victim are two completely different people, you know? Don't you reckon one of the other participants would have noticed and caused a ruckus? No, not at all. The reason they didn't notice the switch was because she stole the victim's clothes. The box, the last word in infiltration technology. So when did the victim try to climb up the ladder and get found by Kay? She used the victim's name. Miss Jensen addressed herself by the victim's name. Ain't this an auction where you all hide your faces with a mask? I reckon they wouldn't give out their names. Oh, she's completely right. Her face was hidden by a mask. What else would have been necessary to change into Miss Crane? That's the only thing I have to consider. I should already know the answer. Hey, city boy, tell it to me straight. Why ain't nobody find out that they switched places? She acted like the victim. Most likely Miss Jensen acted like the victim. Since her face was hidden, that's probably why no one noticed. You dummy! Even if her face was hidden, they still wore different clothes. Oh, it seems that was wrong. Her face was hidden by a mask. Yeah. Reload. The game's really just making sure I'm still here. Like, oh yeah, you better match this thing up too. From what I can tell, Miss Jensen and the victim appeared to have a similar physique. Furthermore, there was a rule requiring a mask to be worn during the auction. If their clothes were the same, I doubt anyone would have noticed she was a different person. Yes, I blended right in. I borrowed Miss Crane's clothes and ouch! You mustn't embarrass the dead like that. I know. I also thought it was pretty heartless to leave her exposed like that. So when the conductor wasn't looking, I covered her up in the raincoat that was up for auction. So, she was the one who put the red raincoat on the victim. And then, the auction resumed as if nothing had happened. I reckon I took the picture of her in the red raincoat after that. That'd make all the facts line up. After I took the photo, I went over to the lift to sneak a peek down below. I witnessed the 11 participants, and then I hightailed it back behind the statue. Don't tell me you were hiding there the entire time until we found you? Nah, that's... how should I put it? What is it? Did something happen? I didn't mention it before, but after that I might have dozed off a little. To be more precise, I fainted? Well, something like that. So something did happen. It ain't no big deal. Kinda embarrassing to say, though. There was this huge thump sound all of a sudden. I was a little surprised by that. It was right after I had just witnessed a murder, so I was shaking in my boots. My heart sort of tightened up, and I was off to La La Land. When I woke up, it was already the next day, around the time you all came by the storeroom. I see. So there was a large sound. Miss Hart, I take it you do not know what transpired in the storeroom beyond this point? I guess. But after the auction, all the masks were properly returned. So I reckon the participants had exited through the storeroom, just like I done said. Miss Jensen, what were your actions after the auction resumed? I took the victim's place and participated in the auction. The conductor instructed me to win the bid for the costume trunk. Because the body was inside it. It would have been bad if another auction guest won the bid for it. You didn't realise the box was empty. No, we only found out when I came up to the storeroom to pay the bill. The conductor was with me and told me to go search for her immediately. And then I found another girl collapsed in front of the ladder. Kay. Yes, she probably fell down from the roof and lost consciousness. Maybe the victim left the hatch open when she went up to the rooftop. I understand now. Kate was surprised at seeing the collapsed victim and did not notice the open hatch. She must have missed her footing and fell down into the storeroom. Miss Hart, I have determined the sound that made you faint. Do I have to point out what it is? It was Kay falling down. It was likely the sound of Kay falling onto the storeroom floor. Ah, okay. I didn't have to point it out. That might have been it, though I reckon it'd be kinda pathetic to faint over something like that. When Miss Jensen found the unconscious Kay, Miss Hart was also unconscious behind the statue. The situation is becoming clearer to me. Miss Jensen, please continue your story. After I found Kay and the victim, I put them both in the trunk. If the customers at the auction found out, there would have been a huge commotion. Was this an order from the conductor as well? Yes, it was. But since I secretly decided to put the raincoat on Miss Crane, I had to dispose of the raincoat without the conductor noticing. So the conductor didn't anticipate the raincoat becoming another piece of evidence. And finally, we dressed Miss Crane in a spare conductor's outfit. I see. In doing so, you made the victim appear as if she was the conductor. In the end, The auction ended without anyone noticing anything. Miss Jensen, your crimes have become clear. If you know anything else, please hold nothing back. I want to help you more, but that is all I know. If I had to say, there is just one thing that bothers me. When I took Miss Crane's place, I borrowed her clothes. But there was no way for me to borrow her hair. Ouch! What kind of coroner's assistant goes around stealing a corpse's hair? I would think that robbing the deceased of their clothes would be questionable enough. Both the colour and the length of our hair is different, so I was worried about how to disguise it. However, the conductor even had a wig prepared for me. In fact, he had 2 of them. Inside the costume trunk, there was both a straight wig and a wavy wig. 2 wigs? Why were there 2? Who knows? Maybe it was a precaution in case the victim had changed her hairstyle. I ended up using the straight wig to match Miss Crane's hair. So that means the wavy wig was left unused. This is a lot to take in. Plot twist, the entire evidence list for this case gets put up for auction after this case. Is that really all you know? Yes. Yep, that's really all I know. So that means you don't know who the conductor is? I'm sorry, I only knew that person as the auction conductor. I never saw that person without a mask on. The conductor seemed to be on guard towards everybody. At this rate? Edgeworth, is that all you've got? Even if that little nurse is an accomplice, it changes absolutely nothing, you know. In the end, the true culprit is still Kay Faraday. All you did was add another criminal, you know. The rule of law cannot be overturned. At least, not for your sake. Is this as far as I go? Am I unable to save Kay? What? Kay is not the conductor. The conductor's a member of the PRC. Francisca, why are you here? Didn't I tell you, Miles Edgeworth? Wherever there is a case, I will follow. Prosecutor Von Karma, your hard work is most appreciated. However, don't get the wrong idea. I only came here to find out the truth behind what happened to Kay Faraday. I don't plan on forgiving you for abandoning the prosecutor's path. I understand. You should thank your former subordinate. He gave me some valuable information which may save Kay Faraday. Detective Gumshoe did? Listen well, Miles Edgeworth. This will be the final piece of evidence. Jill Crane suffered the wound on her head first. Well, someone say something. Well, I hate to say it, but we already proved that. Already proved? Yes. Well, just a few minutes ago. You should have told me sooner. You're the one who barged in here and started talking. Well then, does that mean you've found out what the murder weapon was already? No, not yet. Is that so? In that case, listen well. The victim was struck on the head with a blunt cylindrical object. The wound on her chest was suffered post-mortem. A cylindrical murder weapon? Objection. You know, this report of yours, I trust it's accurate, of course. These were the results of 2 independent autopsies, carried out by 2 respected doctors. Objection. That's reassuring, but it's too bad. You have no right to investigate. Interpol is after the black market auctions, and I'm the prosecutor in charge of the investigation. The victim participated in the auction. Therefore, it is only natural for me to investigate. Especially now that she's been murdered. I see. Clever girl, little Von Karma. Then it has been settled. The victim died from blunt force trauma to the head. Unfortunately, the murder weapon has yet to be found. Heck, just knowing the shape of the murder weapon gives me an idea as to what it might be. Hey, in my investigation we didn't find any other murder weapons, you know? If you consider the conductor's possessions and the crime scene, the answer should be clear. Oh boy. Is it now? Wonder how many times Gumshoe had to be whipped for that info. I like that she's able to like butt in with her position with Interpol. That's pretty good. The blunt cylindrical object used in the auction hall was... Judge Courtney's gavel. An auction gavel. Judge Courtney's gavel. Judge Courtney, the murder weapon is your gavel. Prosecutor Edgeworth, I'm not sure what you're trying to say. But if you're suspecting me, then why don't you examine it up close and personal? That won't be necessary. As I thought, that was wrong. What am I doubting myself for? If I just think about the conductor's possessions, the answer is clear. Mr. Edgeworth, just what was the murder weapon in this case? A judge's gavel. Besides a judge's gavel, I can't think of anything else. Edgeworth, there's never a dull moment with you, you know. A judge's gavel, you say? Sebastian, what do you think? I don't think so. Oh, I was shot down by the DeBests. When DeBest shoots you down, that's when you know you messed up. This end part 1 is enormous. We still haven't hit end part 2. Auction gavel. It was something the conductor had in their hand during the auction. Namely, an auction gavel. An auction gavel? We didn't find anything like that. If the culprit is the conductor, it is possible that the gavel may be the murder weapon. However, that alone is not reason enough, wouldn't you agree? Of course, I have proof to back it up. Now I've got to show you the testimony. Getting shot by DeBest should be a one-shot kill. Yes, it should. What is the difference between an auction gavel and a judge's gavel? Yeah, I've got no idea. This piece of evidence proves that the murder weapon is the auction gavel. The flower. Take a look at this piece of evidence. This proves the murder weapon is the auction gavel. Miles Edgeworth, I don't know what you're trying to say, but if you don't want to fall prey to my whip, then stop spouting this nonsense. But you already hit me, regardless. Wasn't there something different after the gavel had been used as the murder weapon? I should take another look at the evidence. Well, Prosecutor Edgeworth? Yep. Blue. Well, Franziska's here, so the whipping begins. Now, it was Lotta's testimony that was updated, I think. sound of the gavel was not heard afterwards. According to Miss Hart's testimony, after the victim had been murdered, it seems she suddenly stopped hearing the sound of the gavel during the auction. However, she had been able to hear it up until then. Why was that, you ask? It was because it had been used as the murder weapon and was covered in the victim's blood. It became necessary to dispose of it. Isn't that right? Blaze to best. I'll have a search for the murder weapon performed immediately. Well, good luck with that, you know. You've got to work as hard as you can while you're young, you see. He's completely confident that we won't find it. Well then, while the search for the murder weapon continues, I hereby call for a brief recess. Thank you, I need to rest my voice. Well, that was a long part 1. I would love to continue part 2, but my voice is very sore, and I must rest. That sure was a part 1, Europe. These lawyers need to start wearing body armour under all their thick formal wear. That would be a good idea, with the amount of nonsense that happens during these cases. Alright. I'm going to finish up the stream, rest my voice. Might stream more tomorrow, might not, depends how my voice feels. Who is streaming? Sucker is streaming Breath of the Wild, but I don't want to watch Breath of the Wild because I haven't played it yet. And Your Pie is streaming Mario Brothers 35, which is a fun little battle royale thing, so I'll send you all over there. Thank you all very much for watching. And maybe we'll finish this case next time. Depends how much is left, really. But I hope to finish it soon. I'm really enjoying this. I'm ending the stream. Can you explain exactly how that might be possible? Do you have any proof? Here's my proof. Bye. See yous.